Detroit Den 313 is back. Stephen Will live from Disney. Live from Disney. You know what I mean? Partying it up. Well, I shouldn't say we are. Steve's partying it up. I'm still here in Michigan, just living a freezing cold life. But, anyways, we're going to talk some Detroit Lions football nonetheless. Steve, thanks for taking the time. Tell wifey, thanks for letting us borrow you for a little bit. We want to talk about maybe a little bit of MVP talk and a little bit more stuff. We're gonna dance around a little bit, but before we do, Steve, are you enjoying yourself out there?
Yeah, it's a nice 75, 70, 77 degrees, not too humid. There's a sand beach right outside of this beautiful curtain on the other side of me, free s'mores, kids running around, if you can hear that. So I apologize for the background noise. So we're just kind of sneaking by on these next few episodes for the next probably 4 or 5 days.
I guess we'll let it slide, man. I guess you're allowed to go on vacation once or twice a year. Emphasize probably once a year. Detroit didn't need you, especially during football season. But anyways, before we get really going into the meat and potatoes, I want to know: are you aware what our ex backup QB is up to?
Yeah, Teddy Two Gloves. Yeah, he's doing some good stuff down there with his high school football team. As you can see, Miami Northwestern to play state championship. I saw a crazy stat that the team he's coaching, their defense only gave up 12 points. So I think the next vacation that needs to happen is we need to fly Will down there and get him down to Miami and learn some coaching defense. So maybe
Hey, I'll
pick
tell
up
you
a
what.
thing or two.
I'll tell you what, I would be more than happy to learn from somebody like Teddy Bridgewater. I was looking at the stats earlier before I got on. I think it was like 200 and something points to 12 or
Yeah,
13 or something like that, something crazy. So he's
12
out there.
points in defense in the state of Florida. They're a powerhouse for high school football too. So he's averaging what, like 1.2 yard or points per game given up on defense. That's insane.
Yeah, he's going nuts with it, man. Definitely happy for him, man. Actually, funny story. Me and T. So me and T went out there when Teddy Bridgewater was in high school to watch him play when he was in high school, and he went back to his high school alma mater to go coach, man. And yep, taking first season, taking him to the state title. Hopefully, bringing that championship home. It'll be nice, man. A high school state championship for Teddy B, and then a Super Bowl for the Detroit Lions. So I think that would be pretty cool. Um other other news, Steve, which has been a kind of a hot debate here at Detroit Den 313. You texted to me yesterday, and people have kind of been up in arms about it. Should Aiden come back? Should Aiden not come back? Aiden is progressing very well, they say. Rehab is going great. Progress toward recovery is going good. Dan Campbell made mention to the fact that if anybody could make it back for the back end of this playoffs, it would be Hutch. Have you changed any of your feelings on, you know, wanting to see Hutch back? And do we wait till next season? How you feeling about it?
I've lowered my expectations. Listen, when we saw the video of him running in a pool, I got super excited. I was thinking, man, like this dude's gonna be ready by next Sunday. Like he's looking good. But then I saw a video of him walking in Ford Field, going up to his suite, very, very gingerly. Like this dude's still a long way away. So as much as I got excited for seeing him in the pool, seeing him barely putting any weight on that leg while he was walking without any crutches or like a walker or anything like that to assist keeping weight off that foot, I think that's when it kind of hit me, and I was like, yeah, man, I don't see it. The Super Bowl's in like 6, 7 weeks, like.
That's a
Yeah,
long time.
I still feel like that's a long way to go. That's a long time away, but I still feel like that's a long way to go for him as well. So until I see videos of him like in pads, getting after some sprints or something like that, maybe my expectations will change. But from what I've saw last and most recently, I don't think we see Hutch this year, and I'm excited. I'm disappointed that it probably won't happen. We'll probably have to wait until next year. But again, if a week from now I see him out there doing sprints, I'm probably going to change my mind. How do you feel?
Listen, Steve, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something right now, because I don't like your energy right now. I don't know if vacation, I don't know what vacation is doing to you right now. I don't know if it's got you in a different mindset or what's going on. Listen, this man will be back for the Super Bowl. And you know one thing that our head coach here for the Detroit Lions doesn't do? He doesn't lie. He says it like it is. Even in his press conference recently, he was talking about how Jonah Williams balled out, Miles Adams balled out. He liked what he saw out of Jamal Adams and Quan Alexander. And then he got to Broderick Martin, and he said he had some highs and he had some lows, man. What Coach Campbell does not do is get in front of that microphone and tell lies. He said he's progressing well. I'm going with Coach Campbell said. I'm going with Coach Campbell's energy. I'm going with his moxie. I'm going with all the positive vibes. I can't wait to see Hutch in the Super Bowl. Will is saying it, Hutch in the Super Bowl. I don't know what's wrong with Steve right now, guys. Give him some positive reinforcement with comments, please, because I think that he is.
Do you not see these curtains behind you, Will? These things are radiating good energy, all right? But they're also radiating realistic energy,
Yeah,
all right? Like I said, if we see Hutch out there hitting some sleds or practicing a pass rush, but I'm watching this guy walk like an 80-year-old man who just had a hip replacement. Like, it doesn't look good the way he's putting weight on that leg. Yeah, he's going to get better. He's very far along. I mean, what did he injure that thing in, like, right before Halloween, I think, somewhere around there? So, I mean, it's really only been 2 months into a 4-month process. So if he's about halfway, we're about halfway, between that and the Super Bowl. So it's possible, but I need to see some actual football skills going on before I start guaranteeing he's coming back.
I hear you. I don't want to turn this into a Hutch comeback show because there is something that I truly want to get into and want to debate. And I know you got some things to do. So let's get into the meat and potatoes of this thing. MVP race. MVP race. And guys, get ready to put your opinions in the comments because I'm coming in strong. We got a football game this Sunday. And obviously we're not going to get into our game day stuff, but I think we should talk about MVP because we got a civilian. We got a civilian on our team, right? That is in this MVP hunt. Maybe some would say, like Will, leading the MVP hunt. And I think that he's got a perfect stack of opportunities to really solidify himself as this league's MVP. All right. You're gonna see those Buffalo Bills here next, right? Josh Allen coming off a crazy game. I just pulled up the stats: 342 yards, threw for 3 TDs, had 82 yards rushing and rushed for 3 TDs. Like, if you had Josh Allen on your fantasy football team, you won this week. I don't care if you only played Josh Allen. Like, it was like, obviously I didn't have him on mine, but listen, he pretty much carried everybody's fantasy football teams. He pretty much carried the Buffalo Bills this week, even though it didn't go, like he wanted it to go. 44-42, the Rams still found a way to win. That is a guy doing MVP caliber things. I think if Jared Goff comes into this football game and really gets the best of the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen, I think that you really got to put him as the leader in this MVP race. Steve, do you think that this is an opportunity for Jared Goff to put his name in the hat for the whole world to see as the league's MVP?
I think he's already been in the mix. I think he's already in the top 5. It's usually a quarterback award. I know we could talk about Saquon Barkley. His name's right in there. Derrick Henry's been mentioned. Jared Goff, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, kind of 1 week he's hot, 1 week he's cold, not playing very consistent. But I think Jared Goff, I think he's definitely in that top 3 to 4. All right. And Josh Allen, here's the thing. If you took Jared Goff off of the Lions and put in our backup, I think we would still be a damn good football team because we have a better football team around Jared Goff. I think if you took Josh Allen and he was out, I don't think the Buffalo Bills win more than 4 games. Like when we're just talking about a team standpoint, I think that the Detroit Lions are by far the better team, and we're going to get a firsthand look at this MVP race. I don't think it's anything Jared cares about. I think he's more focused on a Super Bowl. But let me ask you this, Will.
Talk to me.
Josh Allen can't beat Patrick Mahomes in a game that means anything.
It's true.
Jared Goff's been to a Super Bowl. That's what matters to me. MVPs, all that, it's cool. If I got to be realistic, what Jared Goff or what Josh Allen did the other day was one of the best performances of the year. But we have to flip the script and say, hey, look at what Matt Stafford and that Rams team did against the Buffalo Bills defense. Do you think that the Lions offense is more of a powerhouse than the Los Angeles Rams? Hint, hint, something we're going to talk about on our game day show. So if we're talking about a trophy where it's an individual award, Josh Allen might be the better choice, but that doesn't mean anything to me. I want that Super Bowl. I think that's where Dan Campbell's mind is. I think that's where Goff's mind is. I don't think he cares about these meaningless stats.
Yeah, hot take, and I'm with you. But hot take, there was a little bit of debate going on at work today. It's a debate that I've had before, and it was just a breakdown of the individualness. And I know it's an individual award, kind of, because you need your team to be able to get there. I will say that. But bottom line is this: if you're gonna give me a choice between having Josh Allen playing for the Detroit Lions or having Jared Goff playing for the Detroit Lions, is really what I'm breaking this MVP thing down to. And when I think about what Josh Allen just did, this crazy performance, I feel like I have no choice. And guys, I know that you're probably going to be a little upset with me saying this, but if I had to choose in between those two quarterbacks, I have to choose freaking Jared Goff 10 times out of 10. Are you nuts? Are you nuts? Are you nuts? This dude, just like you said, he can't spank Patrick Mahomes. He can't get past Patrick Mahomes. Jared Goff has proven that he can show up when the cards are stacked against him. I haven't seen that out of Josh Allen. When the cards are stacked against Josh Allen, he folds, he crumbles like paper. It is, and I'm not trying to come on here and throw shade like he isn't a great player. He is a phenomenal football player, and maybe at some point, similar to Jared Goff, he'll make that next step to the next level. But until he does, I got to go with the guy who was in Detroit and who has shown when he came to be a bridge quarterback, he showed up, right? When he was getting all of the negativity, he showed up. When things weren't going well, he continued to show up. This is a guy that is tried and true with adversity. You watched him in the Houston Texans game. He showed up. Those are things that I haven't seen out of Josh Allen. Jared Goff is a special type of quarterback here. Maybe he's not 250 pounds and running you over and running around the field. So what? Neither was Tom Brady, neither was Peyton Manning. And really, guys like you really want to even talk about Drew Brees. He could scramble a little bit, but he wasn't going to just continuously beat you with your feet. Playing the game of quarterback is more here than it is anything else. And Jared Goff has it right here in between the ears.
You know what drives me wild is I know a lot of people do this, but MVP, that middle word, valuable. If you took, let me ask you a question. If Josh Allen was out for the season, how many wins do you think the Buffalo Bills would have right now?
Zero, maybe. I don't know.
They'd be tough. It'd be tough. Like 3 would probably be very generous. Let me ask you the same question about Jared Goff. If he were out for the season, how many wins do you think the Detroit Lions would have?
I think it's contingent on. I'll tell you this. It's a tough question because I trust Brad Holmes so much. There's probably 31 other teams that I feel like struggle if they lose their starting quarterback. So it's not a knock on any of these teams if they lose their starting quarterback and they got to have the backup come in. But we're in a situation of where we're prepared with a backup who's solid. Don't think he's ready yet, but I think that you get in the next season, we'll have 2 guys that are probably ready, right? But how they've stacked this team around him, I think is they set him up for success. And if we lost Jared Goff and we realized that Hendon Hooker wasn't ready, I absolutely trust Brad to go out and get somebody to come in and carry this team to the promised land. So it's just a tough question for me, man. I think we still win some football games. Hendon Hooker would get a look and he would have to go out there. And as Coach Campbell mentioned, we just play a different brand of football. But if he wasn't getting it done, I think they go a different direction and find somebody else, man, and offer him a deal. And we'd have one of those Sam Darnold, Gardner Minshew type guys. Maybe you
Yep.
got I'm just saying, like maybe we give Tom Brady a blank check. The Detroit Lions would do something, man, to keep this ship sailing, man. I have 100% belief in Brad Holmes, so I think we win some football games, Steve. So it's
If
kind of
the
a
if this year Hendon Hooker had to play a full season, I think we get at least 8, 9 wins. And that's no knock on Jared Goff. I think, like you said, we just have a perfect football team all around him. We have receivers, we have tight ends, we have an offensive line, we have a running back. I think Josh Allen is more valuable to his team. If you took him off that team, their team is literally looking at a top 5 pick. I think that's great. Hey, if Josh Allen wants the MVP, that's fine and dandy. I think that our team is set up for a Super Bowl run. We're tough to beat. We're on practice squad defenses. Okay. And I know we're talking MVPs, but we're talking about the value you bring to your team. I think Jared Goff is phenomenal. He's our guy. You know, there's a reason people chant Jared Goff, and he's the big name around town. We love him. But we've built the team to where it's not as important like it is for the Buffalo Bills, where he has to take over a game. So what I'm saying is, when I looked at that, when I watched a little bit of that game the other day, I watched Matthew Stafford go out there and throw for 300 plus yards with
Yeah.
Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp, two great wide
Yep.
receivers.
Yeah.
We're going to see it on Sunday. What can Jared Goff do with a better offensive line, a better run game, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Jameson Williams? Like, I expect our offense to be moving the ball Sunday without getting too far ahead. So, I know that's going to be the talk of the town. I'm not really sure what's going on in the Michigan media down here in the sunny state of Florida, where we're vacationing and having a good time.
Uh,
I don't know what they're saying up there, but I'm sure it's a lot of Goff versus Buffalo and Goff
oh,
versus Allen, all that. I don't care. It's Goff versus that defense, and
yeah.
Josh Allen versus our defense. How's he going to do?
Yeah, I get it, man, but I gotta disagree with you. I'll tell you this because I just feel like Jared Goff is more valuable because Jared Goff is a guy that's going to lead his team to the Super Bowl. Josh Allen isn't showing that he could do that. And when it boils down to me, is can you do that? That's every season when you strap him on and you get ready week one, you're going out with a mentality of going to win a Super Bowl. And yeah, if they lose him, maybe they win more regular season games, but with him, they probably ain't going to the Super Bowl. And that's where we're going to the Super Bowl. So when we're talking about value to me, I'm not thinking about who can win, whose team would win more regular season games. I'm thinking about which quarterback can lead those teams to the Super Bowl. Steve, there's something that Detroit did in 313 that you say all the time. Hey, man, I don't care how many yards you throw for. I don't care how many yards you rush for. The game is scoring more points than the other team. And can you score more points than that other team? Jared Goff has shown that he can lead his team to scoring more points. He can keep his team in the right mindset to stick with him even in the face of adversity. And that's why I think that his value is one of the highest in the league. The only person that I could put ahead of him right now as far as value goes would be Patty Mahomes.
Do you think that this is a possible Super Bowl preview?
No, because Josh Allen isn't taking his team to the Super Bowl.
Who in the AFC do you think is coming out to the Super Bowl?
You already know.
You think it's going to be the Chiefs?
Those Chiefs, man. I'm hard pressed to pick against those Chiefs, man. They always find a way to get there. And honestly, I want them. I want the Chiefs because I want to take it from Patty Mahomes. I want to take it from the legend, the guy who's 7 feet tall, 300 pounds, and runs a 4 flat 40, like the guy that they're supposed to be talking about as a generational legacy, paying him $400 million, all of this stuff. Like, I don't want it to be the seasons that we win the Super Bowl. It was like we didn't play against Mahomes though, right? Like, that's like winning during the Patriots era, but not playing against Tom Brady. Like, I want to win the Super Bowl against Tom Brady. I want the Detroit Lions to win the Super Bowl against Patrick Mahomes.
I think that'd be fun to see the headlines. Can the Detroit Lions stop the three-peat? Because I don't think a team in NFL history has ever won 3 Super Bowls in a row, even Tom Brady. Yeah, our first one comes this year, and then we're winning the next 2. I like it. I don't think anyone's won 3 in a row. I think Brady won 2, but I don't even think that's something he accomplished. So I think the it's going to come down in the AFC. I think to the Chiefs and the Bills. I'd be surprised if that's not the AFC title game, but Josh Allen hasn't beaten him in a big game. He hasn't beaten him. He's beaten him in the regular season. He's not knocked him out of the playoffs. That's tough to do. Jared Goff's beaten him twice in the regular season, hasn't played him in the postseason. So I think that would be a hell of a matchup. I honestly don't think that the Chiefs scare me. Like, when I watch their games, they play good defense. They don't really do too much offensively. Like, Patrick Mahomes is kind of having a down year. So I think that this is going to be the best quarterback that the Lions see on Sunday in Josh Allen, stats wise and physicality wise, all that. But Pat Mahomes is kind of having a down year this year, and I get it. I'd like to knock him off too. You want to be the best, you got to beat the best. But we'll see. We'll see here in a few weeks because it's getting to be playoff time here. I think we'll have a good run here.
Yeah, I agree, man. And I think that we're already in the playoffs, man. When we're facing, when the Minnesota Vikings just won't lose, they're just like a cockroach. They just keep finding a way to just claw their way back into places where you don't want them. But hats off to them for doing it. They're keeping it interesting. And those Green Bay Packers they're a tough team as well, man. But our conference is just doing it big right now, which is I love it because the tougher teams we play now, when we get to the true playoffs, hopefully it'll be easier for us. But I don't know, man. You got anything else for today?
No, I think we talked quite a bit. MVP. Real quick, I did see. We should have mentioned this when we were talking about Hutchinson. Did you see the picture from last Sunday's game with our whole starting defense and Hutch's Hutch is sweet playing cards and watching the game together. They had Alex Anzalone, Hutch, Davenport, Kyle Pico, Derek Barnes. Like I was like, man, that's our whole starting defense in there. Watching the game, I think it was Thursday against the Packers. I was like, man, it kind of hurt my heart. Like that's literally 4 out of 4 starters on our defense in there that we're watching.
Yeah, I don't want to get too far into it, man. But I mean, I'm never wishing for anybody to get injured. But I love, not like I love some of the guys that we ended up bringing in, and I think that moving forward, these guys competing for positions moving forward, it could really enhance our team. I think our defense really has gotten better. As crazy as that sounds, when everybody comes back healthy, this is going to be a defense that was better than it was at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, and speaking of coming back healthy, I saw some updates from Dan saying, DJ Reader, Decker, Pascal, Levi, all those guys should be good for Sunday. So this was a big kind of bye week for us to kind of get some dudes back. We were kind of scraping by and still playing good football. So if those guys come in just as hungry as we've gotten some of these practice guys coming from other teams, hey, man, you got a chance to come for the Lions 11-1 football team. You want to do it? Hell yeah, sign the papers. I think that's going to motivate these guys we're getting back to be just as hungry. And I can't wait because – it's been amazing what Aaron Glenn and Brad Holmes have done, bringing in some defensive players and Dan Campbell, just like, hey, man, sitting down, looking at some of these teams, practice squads, and just plucking guys and bringing them here, and they're making huge impacts.
Yep, I love it, man. I was looking at some film today, man. These guys are balling, so it's only going to get better.
Let's go, baby. Hit those credits, Will. Hit that like button, leave some comments, stick around. We'll be back later with some more episodes.